I'm Brett Elliott, and I have here with me today Mike Garofalo.
Hi, Brett. I'm Mike Garofalo. I've been a coin dealer for 40 years, and I wrote a book on the secrets of the rare coin and bullion business.
Thanks for joining us, Mike. And today we're going to talk about Roman coin collecting. Some specifics around types of coins that you might collect, the types of collections you might build, and we're going to talk a little bit about the history of some of these too. So we've got some really interesting stuff to talk about. Mike, why don't you take it away?
All right. Well, when people ask, how do you start collecting Roman coins? It really depends on the most sage advice I can give you, which is buy what you like. And what I mean by that is look at a lot of Roman coins first. Roman coins are pretty well divided into two segments. The Roman Empire was around for 1,100 years. So there's a long history. And that also means that during that 1,100 years, they issued a lot of coins. You can buy bronze coins, which are really relatively inexpensive for the most part. You can even buy silver coins, which are still fairly inexpensive, $50 to $100. Is kind of a starting area for that. Or you can buy gold coins, which are very rare. And for it to have survived 20 centuries is saying quite a bit for a piece of gold. What most people look at when they look at Roman coins is they look at, there's two periods in Rome's lifespan. The first period is the Roman Republic. That's when the Senate controlled everything, and the rich people were the patricians, they were the landowners, and the poorer folks, the laborers, were the plebeians. The patricians could hold public office, but they still took their marching orders from the Senate. And the Roman Senate was a very powerful body for 300 or 400 years. And then came along Julius Caesar, who was one of their generals, and he decided, this isn't as much fun for me as I thought. And he did the unthinkable. No Roman should ever come into Rome with an army. Well, he did just that. That's where the expression crossing the Rubicon comes from. It means we've taken this a step too far, or further than anyone has gone. And Caesar, who everybody knows thanks to ancient history, but also thanks to William Shakespeare, everybody knows who Julius Caesar is and the things that he did. He was a great general, a great leader. But once he got to Rome, he didn't want to even be the new emperor. He wanted to be the dictator. Mm-hmm. He wanted to control all facets of it. But there are those two periods where it's the Republic and then it's the Roman Empire. And that was dominated by Caesar and the 11 other emperors who followed him. Together, they're called the 12 Caesars. And these are the names that everybody has heard of: Tiberius, Caligula, Nero. These are all of the famous Roman emperors. So they all tended to follow right behind Julius Caesar.
And that's how a lot of collections are kind of organized, right? You might have some that are empire and some that are republic. Let's talk a little bit about that. So if you are looking at getting into this is a very accessible way to start an ancient coin collection. 1,200 years of minting coins, you've got a lot of coins, and it's amazing the array that we have, and we have some here in front of us. And when we say it's accessible, it's not just the volume that's out there, because there's quite a few that you can gather and collect, but there's also an array of price ranges. So you don't have to be very wealthy to do this either. So some of the coins that we have over here, bronze coins, let's talk about that for a moment.
Well, these are fairly well-worn bronze coins. Mm-hmm. These are the types of things that farmers may have or tradesmen may have, and they would keep these coins, spend them just as we spend our currency today. But because there's so many thousands and hundreds of thousands of these coins that are available, they're not very expensive. Some people think that if you have a silver dollar from the 1800s, it has to be worth a fortune. Well, that age is only one criteria in determining the value of a coin. A coin like this Roman bronze coin, it's hard to tell which emperor this is because of the wear on the coin, but I'm holding a coin that's probably 2,000 years old that You think of all of the people throughout history who may have held this coin in their hand, and you can buy these for $15 or $20. So, to buy some of these, and have them, particularly to show the younger generations, it's a pretty interesting thing to show that, you can see Roman coins and you can hold them in your hand, really talk about history in your hand, and you don't have to go to the museum in order to see them and to hold them. And to form a collection, you can start with some of the lesser known Republic emperors. And there's also all different types of collections that you can put together. With Roman coins, they celebrated different festivals. Their gods, and there were a couple of dozen of them, are depicted a lot of times on the reverse of the coins. So there are people who collect by gods and goddesses. There are people, obviously, who collect by the emperors. There are also people who collect, I collect all ancient Roman coins that have ships on them, or there's a coin that has the Colosseum on the back of it. So they created coins for lots of different reasons. Mm-hmm. If it was the festival of a god, the god would get a coin with this emperor's picture, depiction on the front, and the god on the back. If they just won a major battle against a foe, that would be the type of situation that they'd want to celebrate it with issuing a coin.
So there's a vast array of different types of collections you could build.
Exactly.
It's not very limited.
No, it's only limited by what you like and what your wallet can afford. Silver coins. Now you think, well, a silver coin from Rome, some of these coins, and again, you don't have to be as cautious about handling these as you do coins that were made, in 1,000 years later. Mm-hmm. These coins have seen a lot, they've been through an awful lot, but yet here they are, they're still surviving. And a silver coin could cost you as little as $50, and they go up from there. So it's really whatever has your level of interest.
And the silver denarius, we were talking about earlier, that was the day's wages for a Roman centurion, wasn't it?
Right. And to be a centurion, you had to work your way up through the ranks. There were only a limited number of them. And even to get to this point where you want to talk about a gold coin, there are gold coins from ancient Rome that still survive. Now, granted, they have an expensive start. I think the lowest price you'd find a Roman gold coin would be at, maybe $1,500. But, they're often within $10,000 to $20,000 price range. But again, it depends on who the emperor is and how popular they are. A Roman coin, a gold coin with Julius Caesar on it, is always in demand. Even the silver coins are always in demand. And there's one very expensive ancient Roman coin, and that's called the Ides Mar coin. And that coin is, as you could guess, it's the Ides of March, when Caesar was assassinated. It has Brutus, from the famous Et tu, Brute, on the obverse of it, and on the back it has two words, Ide Mar, and two daggers, one on each side. So it's a great coin that the nicest condition one recently sold in the last year for $3 million. So, but you can buy lesser versions for much less.
It's a different tax bracket.
Exactly.
But we have a nice specimen here to show off today. This one's it's a gold Nero coin, and this one came in somewhere between $3,500 and $4,000, available on APMEX.com. And that brings up the next point, which we probably need to go over, is if you take modern bullion coins today, they've got all kinds of security features on them. But if you're out there buying something like this, it's much easier to counterfeit this. There's no security feature on this. And so the best thing that you can do is to make sure that you are buying from a reputable coin dealer, someone that has people who are experienced with ancients, they can verify their authenticity. This isn't something where you really want to play games, especially if you're thinking about buying some really nice condition silver denarius or even gold coins. So if you do, however, have some that are outside of maybe the certified capsules, you can take them to, I believe it's NGC.
Right, and NGC will certify the coins and encapsulate it, but they make sure that it's genuine first and hasn't been altered in any way. And you touched on a very good point, Brett. It's having dealers who will stand behind their product, but also have the knowledge to be able to translate what the coin actually is and know that it's a genuine coin and who the emperor was and why this coin was issued. Finding dealers who do that, like APMEX, that gives you a lot of comfort knowing that the collection you're building is off to a good start.
So before we wrap up, one last question. If someone said, well, that sounds really cool, but I'm a little overwhelmed. There's so many different coins and so many different ways you can collect. What would be the one type of collection you would say, hey, start here, and then maybe you can work your way up after that?
Well, again, I'll go back to what I originally said, buy what you like. For me, I always liked the emperors. And if you can get a relatively nice coin, even though it's worn, particularly in silver, but it has a good outline of the emperor's head, and you get to learn what the letters around it mean. If you're like me, you had Latin when you were in high school, and you suffered your way through it. Well, I wish I'd retained more of it now, because the coins are obviously, the lettering is in Latin, but there are lots of books to help you, and there are lots of dealers who understand this market and will help you as well.
So one of each emperor.
It's a great way to start. There are some with emperors' wives. There's some with ships on them. Whatever your interest happens to be, there's a Roman coin to suit your needs.
That's great. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and watching. That's all we have for you today. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with a friend.